Well, as someone correctly pointed out, what good would any collection be without Sea Harriers? Certainly a fleet air arm collection. And where would the Royal Navy be without Sea Harriers? Well, probably at the bottom of the ocean. The Sea Harrier, of course, even though it was imperfect, was vital to keeping the task force in the Falklands actually alive. So my dad had one of these in the loft. Again, these are built and painted due to his health. He doesn't build and paint as much as he used to. And this is in the correct markings of the Phoenix Squadron, which was sort of a attrition reserve squadron, which was put together for the Falklands War. And the camouflage that they flew in was not the overall dark sea grey, extra dark sea grey. They actually flew in this lighter grey, which is more like barley grey. And eventually they got repainted. But for the period, and I've got the book all about the squadron, massive book. It's at least that thick, and I'm still reading it. A very good book. It tells you all about the history of how they formed the unit, who was involved in the unit, how they trained, etc, etc, and it talks about the camouflage. So I had my doubts as to whether this was correct initially, but it appears it is. So this is of course the FRS.1 Sea Harrier. So if you're not in the know, basically the government threw away all its fixed wing conventional takeoff and landing catapult capability in the late 70s, got rid of most of the heavy aircraft carriers, sent completely the wrong message on deterrence to Argentina, who then thought it would be okay to invade the Falklands. Sudden change of mind in the British government, opportunity to retake the Falklands, various political considerations went on, I think it's fair to say. Thatcher made the most of it, and to be fair, and credit to the soldiers, sailors and airmen who fought in it, it was a close run thing, but the professionalism and structure of the British military shone through. The Argentinian forces, which were of course made up of a lot of conscripts, really suffered from poor command and control and bad living conditions, and with the support of the islanders, eventually a close run thing, but a British victory of the surrender of the Argentine garrison. I have had the privilege of listening to the commander of the Royal Naval Fleet, Admiral Woodward, and also Brigadier Julian Thompson, commander of the land forces. They came and gave a lecture when I was at uni, and by goodness, it was a close run thing. If the war had gone on for longer, or the British had lost more ships, we would have had to have sailed away, and potentially it would have been an undecided conflict, which would have gone to the United Nations to resolve. So the Sea Harrier played a very important part, and the most important part of the Sea Harrier was the AIM-9 Lima missile, which we managed to grab from the Americans, all aspect capability, giving the Harrier an edge in combat. Now, the Harrier was a basic air defence aircraft, and these are on Butler's printed model stands, highly recommend them. And it had some radar capability, but not the capability to fire beyond visual range missiles. That came with the FRS.2, which was a more developed model. This is HASEGAWA, and this is Airfix. So again, my dad's brought this built and painted. We've taken the Sea Eagles off, and this is in the final scheme of the last days in service. So there you go, 800 Naval Air Squadron, 1980 to 2004. What a shame that we then disbanded these. For many years, the Royal Navy was only left with RAF GR7s. We never went down the AV8B plus route. But the main thing that the Sea Harrier FRS.2 could carry was the AIM 120 AMRAAM. So nice little kits there. I hope that's given some historical context. And like I said, a closely run thing in the Falklands. But the Harrier, it's growing on me. I just wish they'd done the supersonic P1154, but they didn't. So this, I believe, is the next best thing.